Geothermal energy is one of those energy sources that doesn't get the attention it deserves.
Shallow geothermal, we have utterly ignored it. It's beneath our feet and we didn't see it.
Ground source heat pumps are the most efficient system you can get on the market these days.
The companies who are ready to come and work first on the market will be the winners in the future.
The business model is being revolutionized. So we are sort of awakening a sleeping giant here.
An unthinkable war suddenly becomes a real shooting war.
The full-scale invasion of Ukraine showed how much should be changed in the assessment of energy security, energy independence of every country.
That situation really made us think. Energy security is a big thing. Energy security is not just something nice to have, but actually something that we need to have.
We all remember how Europe had to use energy efficiency measures, decrease of energy consumption, when the gas prices jumped incredibly high.
The gas supply specifically was highlighted in the invasion of Ukraine as a key vulnerability. What we really need in our future energy system in terms of resilience and reliability is a large and steady source that is non-intermittent.
As we all know, wind and solar is excellent. They provide electricity without any emissions, but their availability is depending on the weather.
Geothermal is a rock-solid, non-intermittent, non-emitting renewable energy supply.
Geothermal energy is a stable electricity source, and they can balance out the wind and solar, can be a very helpful source of electricity generation.
The beauty of surface geothermal, among many benefits, is that it's a simple and well-proven technology.
Shallow geothermal specifically is shallow only to those who drill into the earth. It's 100 to 1,000 feet. It is using the local bedrock as a battery and thermal energy source, and it uses geothermal heat pumps to access that temperature.
During the winter, when the temperature outside is cold, you utilize this ground temperature. You have piping system and you bring the hot temperature of the ground into the building. During summer, when there are hot temperature, the ground is colder. So you utilize the colder temperature of the ground to refresh internal buildings. And for that, you utilize what we call heat exchanger, which is a quite simple technology.
Its base load means it's constant, it's not intermittent, and you have the fuel from under your feet that heat, so you don't need to import or incur fluctuation in that cost of fuel.
Ground source heat pumps, could it be a technology to change the energy mix in the emerging market? Yes, for sure.
Cooling is a big thing in the world and is becoming one of the critical issues that we see, definitely in developing markets, because they also want air conditioning in their houses. They also want to be cool.
In a context of political tensions, in a context of volatility, energy will become even more important, not only as an economic means, but also as a geopolitical means with respect to how countries can have access to it, how countries can use it to accelerate their development.
Many countries are thinking that, okay, if we are having the decarbonization strategy, probably we will move from coal to gas, and then from gas to we don't know what. We'll see in the future. By leapfrogging and looking at what developed countries already are implementing, I think that is something which developing countries can do.
What is happening in the US and in this case in Massachusetts, starting with Boston, and a utility that is private like Eversource, that is already in the business of providing utility services for natural gas and water. They are migrating the districts from natural gas to surface geothermal and ground source heat pumps that are networked.
The project itself is unique in the sense that this is the first time that a utility has undertaken one of these systems in the public right-of-way. The geosystem works by moving water around the neighborhood. That water carries heat energy. So what we're doing is we're sending the water down a series of pipes into the ground. We're picking up heat from the bedrock in the winter. We're moving it through those pipes to a building. The building has a ground source heat pump, works just like an air conditioner. It compresses that heat, blows it out into the building to keep it warm in the winter, does the exact same thing in reverse and provides cooling in the summer.
It is largely applicable and replicable to other cities in the world where you already have an existing network and you're making the conversion.
It creates a lot of jobs. It is, in other words, a job-creating machine.
We are working on this solution for all of the Middle East, Central Asia, Turkey, Pakistan, Afghanistan. And of course, the workforce is much more affordable per unit there compared to a developed country. So that should bring the solution cost down. And then we would deploy it. So you can migrate a neighborhood or a district from another solution to geothermal within a matter of months. We're not talking about many years.
The gas utilities need a business model that can hold up to climate laws, and they have a workforce that puts pipes in the streets. They have customers and billing and financing and pretty much everything one needs to build a thermal utility. Because of the design of geothermal networks, they suddenly get to sell cooling as well as heating, meeting the needs of their customers more.
You can really leverage on the community where you have different type of customers, residential customers, but also maybe industrial customers or office building customers. So you can leverage on building on the community.
The oil and gas industry today, lots of experience in terms of drilling, but they drill oil and gas. But most of these technologies can be easily applied to get the geothermal out of the ground and put it in the electricity networks and also for heating purposes.
It's an evolution that is revolutionary because you are migrating old, obsolete networks that would otherwise cost you a lot to renovate.
The cost of generating geothermal is a bit high compared to many others.
The main problem that we have is that the installation costs are high. But it is also true that the savings that you get in the lifetime of the GHP more than compensates the installation cost.
It is CapEx intensive, so you need to invest in an infrastructure, and then this infrastructure will last, but there is an upfront cost which is important for emerging market.
Public-private partnerships is absolutely critical to make the equation work. So we need to actually facilitate these investments by articulating, by creating long-term contracts that can actually provide the confidence on both sides that the investment is going to happen.
Right now already, companies are trying to make a business case from the geothermal solutions. Who comes first to this business will win in the future.
You can develop new business model as energy as a service. So where developers come, build all this infrastructure, and then ask for a bill on a monthly basis to the buildings or to the customers, where you can have more long-term payment for this infrastructure.
IFC could provide that finance and can mobilize others. Because IFC, by entering into this type of financial contracts, we can actually signal that this is an investment that is worth it, that we need to do, and that we see that financially is also bankable. And therefore, other investors could actually be attracted as well.
It can attract investors who are looking at more and more climate-friendly businesses with net zero emission to invest further on those countries.
Before 2030, I expect there will be a significant penetration of geothermal energy if we make the right steps And these steps would be to provide incentive for the investors in geothermal energy, and there's an important role for the governments to put these investment frameworks, and oil and gas industry, I believe, has an important responsibility here.
130 countries from the world have committed last November in COP28 to doubling their energy efficiency and tripling their renewable energy. Guess what? Geothermal is renewable and is highly efficient.
I don't think we're going to meet our goals by 2050 unless we use this technology.